Welcome to my channel. Friends, do you know that about 25 containers originating from India are transshipped through foreign ports and about 80 of them are handled by ports like Colombo, Singapore and Klang? If we talk about the overall economy, then these losses multiply to about 3,000 to 4,500 crores, and if we consider the opportunity to handle the cargo handling coming from the rest of the countries of this region, then these losses become even more. Friends, all these data are mentioned in the report on the Sagarmala portal of Ministry of Shipping, and looking at these figures, the question arises whether India can do anything for these losses. Only a transshipment port will have to be developed in the country for this. And moving in this direction, the Indian government is going to spend 72,000 crores on an island under the holistic development approach. The island we are talking about is the Indian Union Territory of Bengal, part of the Andaman and Nicobar group of islands. The Great Nicobar Island. This development project is a huge infrastructure plan at the southern tip of Great Nicobar Island, which includes a major transshipment port, airport and other projects, and was designed at a cost of 72,000 crores. Today, this master plan of Niti Aayog is now moving at a fast pace. In today's video, we will try to understand all the points related to this master plan in details, as well as geography of the Great Nicobar Island, how this remote island economically and strategically important, and finally why some people are opposing this master plan of Niti Aayog. The two islands are separated from each other by 10 degrees. Great Nicobar is southernmost island of the Nicobar Islands, stretching from Ranganath Bay of east coast of Gal Bay on the south, and also covering Pem or Bay around Indira Point. Indira Point is known as the southernmost point of India along with Andaman and Nicobar Islands. In the year 1985, this point was named Indira Point in the memory of late Indira Gandhi. And you have to tell us in the comment section what names Indira Point was known before. The Great Nicobar Island is just 180 km from Indonesia and Sumatra Island, and is found on the western side of Malacca Strait. The Malacca Strait is one of the world's busiest trade routes, and strategic and economic value of these islands is immense. Great Nicobar Island is the largest island in the Nicobar group of islands. If we talk about the area, then it is spread over a total area of about 1044 square kilometer and is bigger than Singapore and slightly smaller than Hong Kong. According to the 2011 census, it has a population of 869. The Great Nicobar Biosphere Reserve, which includes Campbell Bay, Galathea National Park, is located in the third area, and these islands was included in the End Biosphere Program of UNESCO in 2013. Along with this, Great Nicobar Island is also rich in natural resources. The entire area of island is famous for its mountainous terrain, and Mountain Thulia is also known as the highest mountain range in this island. If we talk about the important rivers here, they include rivers like Alexandra Dock, Mahamitkaur and Galanthia. Where on the other hand, there are many natural features on the Great Nicobar Island and its development as a transshipment port of the Great Nicobar Island project vision. Friends, Andaman and Nicobar is a precious island of India whose development can address many serious concerns related to maritime security, economic development and quality of life of the local population. And with these objectives in mind, the Prime Minister of India had announced on 10th August of 2020 that the development of Andaman and Nicobar Island would be completed. Andaman and Nicobar Island to be developed as a bioeconomy, port maritime and start-up hub. This announcement was made on the occasion of inauguration of about 2,300 kilometers long submarine optic fiber-based telecom connectivity project between Andaman and Nicobar Island and Chennai. Friends, it was during the launch of this initiative that the Prime Minister talked about the Great Nicobar project and indicated a series of planned developments ahead. This series is proposed as holistic development of Great Nicobar Islands. Under this, Gurugram-based infrastructure firm ACOM India Private Limited was appointed by India's think tank Niti Aayog, which prepared a pre-feasibility report on this project in March 2021. The 125-page report states that the project aims to transform a largely uninhabited and remote island into a maritime and tourist hub on the lines of these factors. This report has provided an outline of development of a greenfield along with the diverse and strong economy, the international transshipment port at Galathea Bay is a second greenfield international airport. The third is the power plant, and the fourth and the last new township area, the Ministry of Ports. Shipping and Waterways will act as the nodal agency of implementation of the project at Saima Prasad Mukherjee Port, Kolkata, and the project is targeted to be completed in the total of 3 phases over the next 30 years. With India's growing participation in the global shipping trade, creating immeasurable employment opportunities for the citizens and improving the quality of the life for the present and future residents of Ireland, you must have paid special attention to 2 words on these components. One is transshipment and the other is greenfield. Friends, a greenfield project is a project that developed from scratch, that is, plan in which there is no construction already, while transshipment is when goods are transferred from one ship to another before being sent to their destination. You must be wondering what is the need of such transshipment port, why we are comparing this project with the Singapore port, and why the location of Great Nicobar Island is an important point for this scheme. With the answer of these questions, we are going to look at these 4 components of the project in the next discussion. Economic and strategic importance of Great Nicobar Island and need of international container transshipment port. Friends, the world's main east-west shipping route, which connects East Asian exports with the Indian Ocean, Suez Canal and Europe, passes just south of Great Nicobar Island. By building a container port at this location, India can fully participate in global shipping trade. Currently, Singapore is the world's second busiest transshipment port after Shanghai. The reason for this development of Singapore port is considered to be its business-friendly environment along with its locational advantage. Almost 9/3 of shipping containers and half of crude oil supplies are carried out from these ports. Ships enters the Indian Ocean through the Middle East and African region, and from here the ships divide into 2 different routes, and the first runs through the Strait of Malacca towards Southeast Asia, and second through Bay of Bengal toward Chittagong port. Great Nicobar Island is Great Nicobar Island is strategically located equidistant from Colombo and Singapore and is very close to east-west shipping corridor. If India is able to develop a Great Nicobar port, it will be able to establish its presence as an intersection of this main trade route. Transshipment can be developed from the point of view storage processing zone and shipbuilding facility. The proposed port will have capacity to handle 16 million containers per annum. At the present, about 75% of India's transshipped cargo is handled at ports outside India. It is only integrated military command of country on the island that can act as frontline defense to counter China's growing moves in recent years. Significant development has become necessary on this entire arrangement to strengthen India's regional presence. Although there have been some developments from the defense points in view in past years, including the commissioning of India's southernmost naval air station INS Baz in 2012, as well as other security development. Whether this project will be able to replace the Singapore port in the future or not, we don't know. But to fully utilize this island, it is necessary to work at the grassroots level on factors like industries and population enhancement. Friends, with the right level of infrastructure development, this island can attract Indian and international tourists. From this point of view, it becomes necessary to have an international airport here to improve connectivity to Great Nicobar and make this island tourism friendly. Greenfield International Airport currently handles around 1.8 million passengers a year from around 2000 to 0 passengers per day at Port Blair Airport. With increasing development, the new airport will be able to handle an increasing number of passengers. Given the geographical context of this island, the new airport can serve not only Great Nicobar Island but also nearby areas such as Phuket Island in Thailand and Lanka in Malaysia, and thus mark the entire group of islands on the global tourist destination map through tourism-oriented island developments. The project will serve as a dual function for both civilian and military use, giving a boost to tourism in this region as well as security in the time situation where the island currently has a population of around 88,000. After the start of this project, the total population is expected to increase by around 60,000. A planned township for this growing population is also part of this project. Township and area development and power plant transshipment terminal and tourism development operations will require commercial islands, hotels, etc. The project can provide direct and indirect employment opportunity to more than 4,200 people. Employment generation among the local population will increase on this island, as well as people from outside will be brought to the island. For this reason, it is equally important to develop this island from commercial, industrial and residential part of view. While urban infrastructure needs to be adequately developed to support and facilitate these economic aspects, on the other hand, business and economy in this digital area depends on quality power supply. A greenfield city cannot be imagined without power, and that is why planning additional power generation is also an essential point for proper operation and success of this Great Nicobar project. Under this, some diesel generating stations along with solar and gas-based power plant will be set up to meet the city-wide demand of about 450 megawatt in 16,610 hectares. 16,610 hectares. Here, this power plant is fourth and the last component of this project, in which 15% of the demand will be met through diesel sets in initial stages, and about 10% of the demand is planned to meet through solar panels. So far, we have seen how India intends to become globally standard city and strong economy under this project. Let us understand why there was opposition to these development related schemes in detail. Concerns related to the Great Nicobar projects. Whenever it comes to development of cities, there is debatable issue, and that is development versus environment. This project intends to use about 114 square kilometers of tribal reserves, for instance, land where Champagne and Nicobari tribals live. Along with northern and biosphere reserves of this project, the negative impact of large-scale infrastructure construction and felling of about 10,000 trees can be seen on the people living there, as well as on the natural vegetation, wildlife, marine coral reefs and other marine elements. At the same time, there is risk of over-exploitation, over-utilization and contamination of the natural and water resources present here. One of the most controversial aspect of this project is establishment of transshipment terminal that will be located in Galathea Bay Endangered giant leatherback turtles make their nest on this bay, and there is high possibility of harming them. From this development, in addition, the island's tectonic volatiles and vulnerability to disasters such as earthquakes and tsunamis put a question mark on the project location. And environmentalists and experts have raised concern about the development project on these issues. The project was evaluated by EAC, that is Environmental Appraisal Committee, along with the release of environmental impact assessment report, in which guidelines were also issued with alternative options on these issues, keeping in mind that endangered species, forest cover and safety of local tribes and private spaces. After analyzing the same issues for 2 years, the mandatory public hearing was held at Campbell Bay, the administrative headquarters of Great Nicobar, in 2022, and the final assessment report was published, and finally the Great Nicobar project got the green signal to proceed with the development project on the island, with the Military of Forest Environment and Climate Change granting forest and environmental clearance. In January 2023, the Ministry of Ports invited OI from the interested party to develop the first phase of transshipment project, and till July the government has received about 10 OIs. Let us tell you that OI is not an informal tender. It is used to determine conditions related to technical expertise, financial capacity, experience and growth of the original tender. Means, for example, the submitted OIs that includes Adani Ports and Special Economic Zone Rail Vikas Nigam Limited and Container Corporation, while internationally Dutch Daging Major Royal Boss TS Westminster has expressed its intention to join bidding process. So the conclusion is, friends, it is expected that the Great Nicobar project will be completed soon, and we can say that on its completion, not only island will be developed, but India will also be ready to compete with countries like Singapore with the transshipment port being developed here. India will not only able to fulfill the transshipment needs of its cargoes, but also will be able to boost its economy by providing this facility for the entire region. Let us know that what do you think about this project in comment section. Thank you.